And this is a little counterintuitive to the way that AI is working right now. And so most marketers were stuck a bit in a limbo world between AI can't consume content fast enough. But if we just write for AI, we lose that human connection. And so the needle that we're threading right now is writing or creating content for humans first and then AI optimizing it. Because if we go the other way around, we believe that is really losing that intimate touch, which is important to create connection, especially in an industry where people are very vulnerable when they're looking for help. They're sometimes at their most vulnerable, whether it's them that needs help or a loved one.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stevr1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everybody, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm pretty pumped up because we're going to talk about a subject I won't get into it just yet that all of you know about. You see it everywhere. It's in sports. It's in marketing. It's in religion, church. My church is doing this. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. But we're always going to start now with our new show is with a gratitude message. Today's message is success is just around the corner because you're all amazing. Keep moving forward because success is there and it's just closer than you think. With that being said, let's bring our guest on. We're going to talk about humanizing marketing with AI. I know that's kind of crazy, but it does work. So let's bring our guest. This is part 2. Adrienne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How the hell do we humanize marketing with AI?
That, I think, is a question of the year, perhaps the question of this era with AI and whatnot. But I think for me, in some ways, it starts with the mindset. You can very easily, there's always a formula, there's always a tool. And I think marketing in general fell into this trap, if you will, even before AI came along. When inbound marketing first became a thing in, 2010, 2012-ish, that was kind of the early eras of it. It was this focus on the person, on the customer. It wasn't about companies or brands going, hey, this is the shoe you should wear. This is the color you should be wearing this season or whatnot. It really shifted to being the consumer going, this is the kind of shoe I like. I don't like that one. I like this one. It became this kind of more consumer focused marketing. And it wasn't about the data at first, as much as it was about welcoming your clients into your world and connecting with them where they were at. It very quickly evolved or devolved, depending on your perspective, into this place where paid ads then became this thing. It wasn't about organic as much, which is what everything was about in the beginning. And then it became this pay to play. So paid ads, and it was formulaic. you spend the right amount of money, you click the right clicks, you do the right algorithms, and you're going to get X return. And so that was it had a benefit in some ways. I'm not going to say it was all bad or wrong, just like using AI right now. There's good and bad about it. But it really kind of diluted the human focus in it. And it became more focused on the algorithm and the data, which don't get me wrong, the data is critical. Like we need the data to help us know, are we connecting with the right people in the right way? But the data really became more about statistics and numbers. And if you spend this much here and you flip this lever and press this button, you're going to get this return. And so it kind of dehumanized, in my opinion, a certain amount of marketing. And it became a very quick, easy win for a lot of agencies. AI has kind of disrupted all of that paid ads, pay per click piece. And in some ways, there's again good and bad there. But what's happening now is it's kind of about the consumer again, but AI makes it too easy, just like those algorithms almost made it too easy to just run a paid ads campaign and get a return. AI is making it too easy to churn content out. And so what's happening is we're losing the human to human connection that was in some ways starting to happen where people were asking AI real questions. They weren't getting gamed by a keyword optimization system. It wasn't this algorithm of I've liked this. I said to my husband, I like Nikes, and all of a sudden my feed is flooded. And every time I pull up Google, there's nothing but Nike ads, and it's started to get away from that where people could ask real questions to AI and get answers, not just a list of blue links that they had to research. But with the speed that AI is evolving at, that almost came and went very, very quickly. And so now there's so much content out there that, again, I feel like we're losing that human connection. We're losing focus on that. So to initially answer your question, I believe it's coming back to that mindset of who are we trying to connect with? Who is our ideal client? And we used to do something, and this is still done, but I think it's critical now is give that client a name. Is that Sally? What does Sally love to do? Sally owns, a blue house. She's got 2 dogs and a cat, and she's got a kindergartner and somebody in 4th grade, and her husband does this and she does that. Like, build out the person, not just what channels are they on, what do they like. Build out the person. And then everything that you do, everything that you use AI to do has to be, does that connect with Sally?
Beautiful. Because
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say gold is data. Data is gold, right? Excuse me. It's the new gold. Yeah, if you have gold, that's great. But if you data, but I think AI and people are data manipulation. Like that's what you're talking about. We don't want to do that because it ultimately will bite you in the butt. Yeah. Because people will figure you out one way. Oh, this, you're marketing and, you're come and go type of thing. I want you to talk about connection because not a lot of marketing companies talk about that. I mean, they talk about the connection like, hey, I got your lead, Steve Ramona, and you sell them. Right. You go deeper. How deeper do you go?
Our goal is to go as deep as we can especially for us in the industry that we work within HIPAA and personal health information, regulations. So we work primarily with the mental and behavioral health industries and addiction recovery. So we have some very specific parameters that we have to work within, especially when you're talking data and how much personal health information are we getting. So for us, it's really about, again, understanding that ideal client on a deeper level, not just asking what do they buy, what's their buying behavior, but what do they do when they're not buying something? What do they do on the weekend? What do they do in the evenings? How do they interact? And this is a deeper dig into your ideal client. But when you're doing that, you can create so much more content that truly connects with somebody. And it's not a surface connection. It's this feeling, and this is particularly important in the mental health world, but it applies to any business. We need our clients, potential clients, to feel like they are heard, they're understood, not on a creepy level, like, oh my God, are they reading my mail? But on a connection, what is valuable to them, what is meaningful to them. And when you're choosing to go that much deeper, I believe everything else naturally will flow out of that. But it's more about quality than quantity. And this is a little counterintuitive to the way that AI is working right now. And so most marketers were stuck a bit in a limbo world between AI can't consume content fast enough. But if we just write for AI, we lose that human connection. And so the needle that we're threading right now is writing or creating content for humans first, and then AI optimizing it. Because if we go the other way around, we believe that is really losing that intimate touch, which is important to create connection, especially in an industry where people are very vulnerable when they're looking for help. They're sometimes at their most vulnerable, whether it's them that needs help or a loved one. This is difficult. This is challenging. We work with companies that serve families with autistic children, helping them work through helping the child interact with society, the family interact, the siblings interact. That is a deeply emotional thing. And so if your marketing is not coming from that point of empathy and connection first, it's going to fall flat. It's going to feel contrived. It's going to feel fake. And I feel like all of our fake radars is like on hyper alert right now with the amount of content, because videos can fake so much stuff. Writing can fake so much stuff. There's this like, what's real anymore? And I think that's only going to get worse. So really writing with empathy and connection in mind as our first primary goal, I believe is what's going to set companies and people that can do that. I believe that's going to set them apart from the mass generated clutter that is filling up our news feeds, right?
Or some people might say crap, clutter or crap. Fair. And audience, here's what she's saying too. Marketing includes your one-on-ones, your networking. Bring empathy to that by uplifting them. I'm actually speaking to a large group today about that, how that servant's heart, this podcast, can make you a crap load of money. But that's the ultimate goal. You're going to be successful and be financially safe. Because I hear it all the time. I can't serve, and Adrienne, I've got bills to pay. Me and Adrienne have bills to pay too. But starting with this transformation before translation or transaction is so powerful, because they will come. Not everybody. You're not going to get everybody. Just how it works. This is a tough question. The tone
is going to come through. That tone is going to come through when your heart is there first. And I think that what you just brought up is so pivotal, because it kind of doesn't matter what tool you're using. If your mindset and your heart is coming from a right place, that's going to come through.
God, it's I'm borrowing that today for my speech. Thank you. That is perfect. Because it just happened this morning. I just met somebody. Somebody said, you got to meet Steve. And she started not pitching, but telling me about her business, what we do. We end up giving her service. I gave her some resources and some tips. She goes, man, this is fantastic. Well, she came in pitching her business to see if I could help her. And she smiled when she left. And the email she just sent me, and you all can do this. I'm going to ask you a tough question. It might be easy for you. Can you give us a sample of that connection that's AI crap, and then the connection that's really good empathetic connection?
Right. I mean, I think it's going to need to shift and change a little bit depending on your clientele, but a lot of it means bringing in personal stories that are relevant, real material. So AI can search and pull anything and everything out of wherever, internet wise. So it's not for lack of data or facts or whatnot, but it's how they're presented and those personal stories, those personal anecdotes, even just like the story you just shared, that takes it to a different level. You could have regurgitated facts to me. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then that happened. Okay. But when you talk about her reaction, your reaction, how you responded, that paints a different picture in somebody's mind. And it's something that we can connect with. We connect with stories. My father's a therapist. He just retired after 30 years. But one of the things that I always felt like made him such a powerful therapist and leader of people, he was a pastor my whole life, and people gravitated toward him, was because he taught and led and communicated through stories. And we remember those. So whenever you can incorporate stories, those we connect with. And so bringing in and pairing the facts and the data that AI pulls together, that AI can collate together with your personal experiences, your stories, your patient's stories, your client's stories, that's, I believe, what creates that empathy, creates that connection. Now, obviously, in the mental and behavioral health, we have to be very careful that we're sharing stuff with permission, that it's de-identified information. There's nothing in there. But that's not the case if you're a plumber or a rougher or a lawyer. You have, it's much more wide open. For example, you can share a lot of really cool stories and get people's reviews and their testimonials, weave those in, share those, get them to be on the podcast with you if you're generating content, or have them do a short 30-second video of, this is why I like XYZ roofing company. They did this.
Stories.
That is the connection piece. That's the real piece that combined with the data that AI can collate and bring to the table. I think that's, at least right now in our game and in this evolving world that we're navigating, that's the sweet spot, I believe.
I so agree with you. You're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant. This is a better podcast than the first one. The first one was unbelievable. And what I'm hearing too is, so I've come up with an idea. AI spits out a social media post, says, you connect with 10 people this week and you're going to get more referrals. Generic, it's numbers, it's AI. Or you could post, hey, Steve Ramona met 10 people last week. He brought value to them. He got 3 referrals the next week and is now working with them. And I'm so excited because I get to work with 3 new partners. That's the difference, right?
Right. Real stories, real experiences, because AI can't mimic yet our real lived experiences. It might be able to mimic it down the road. It kind of tries. But the interesting thing is, I feel like, again, our radar for this is pretty dang good. People just instinctively will be like, I don't know, there's just something a little flat about it. And that's AI mimicking the human experience. And so, yes, bring that human experience in, throw in a quote about one of the people that Steve Ramona met and how it transformed. And, the hard part is AI can create any quote, right? But if you're linking it, let's say you're posting it on LinkedIn, link it back to the person who did the quote. People can go research. Oh, this is a real person. This is not a fake account. Oh, okay. And now look at them. Oh, look, they're doing this and they're doing that. So there's that connection point too that social media can sort of provide, that we could leverage and can leverage in some of this human to human connection.
And that's a great point you made. Give reference to people. That I try to do that. Sometimes you're going to forget. You can say, but most of the time, if hey, like Mark Hunter said, ego is empowering greater outcomes. I'll never forget that. So when I post in different places, thank you, Mark, or my podcast guest, Mark Hunter. Yeah, do that. And that takes the AI out of it, even though AI could search. And again, it's very servant oriented to be able to give people credit for impacting you.
Yeah.
And doing great things. Well, What does the future of marketing and AI look like to you in the next 2 to 3 years?
Ooh, man.
It's a tough one, I know, but what are your ideas?
Yeah. I'm hoping that it does really create an environment where we as marketers use it as a research tool, use it as a co pilot, use it as tools to help us question our own biases and become better at our job. But it also has a very significant danger that we could very easily advocate our authority and expertise to AI and stop really kind of being who we are, because it is almost an easier way to just, well, we'll just let AI do it. It sounds good enough. And I think there's a huge trap there that I'm hoping the marketing world navigates well, to really understand there is a danger that we could advocate our authority to AI. And if we do that, it's kind of the beginning of the end for marketing. And that's why it's like, if we look at it as a co-pilot, as an assistant, as an amazing partner in generating content that connects to people like we want to be connected to, that is, I think, the sweet spot between the two. And I can see AI, as AI gets better, faster, it can continue to be a better and better partner for us. It's going to write better content. It's going to need less editing, less humanizing, but it's still going to need that. And it's still going to need the right prompts to generate the right content. And that's where I think the expertise of marketers will continue to be valuable, because you only get the quality of what you get out of AI is only as good as what you put into it. And so if marketing's not your first love or what you do, if you're a dentist, you might really struggle to get quality out of AI, because this is not your world. And I always tease our dental clients, like, you don't want me drilling on your teeth. Trust me. And I don't want you doing marketing. And it's like we both have our areas. So marketing, I believe, becomes more about the expertise, more about the thought leadership, more about the strategic implementation of how do we do this human first. And AI becomes this really strong partner. I do think it's going to continue to make it very difficult for people who want to get into marketing, because AI is rapidly being able to do a lot of the repetitive tasks, the routine stuff that honestly all of us marketers hate, but that's what we used to give to the interns. That's how you cut your teeth in the industry, is doing that research, doing the grunt work. And now we're looking to AI to do that more and more, and AI is getting better and better at it. So that's the part that I'm not quite sure yet. It's going to be very interesting to see how this evolves with people who are wanting to get into the industry. How do you cut your teeth in it when there's not entry level stuff? How do you gain experience? Because that's how we used to gain experience, is doing the grunt work, doing the stuff nobody else wanted to do, and learning lessons the hard way. And so if you haven't done that and you haven't learned stuff the hard way, how do you recognize whether what AI is spitting out to you is crap or is the real deal? Those are the questions we don't know how to answer yet. And we don't quite know what's going to happen. Like Facebook, Meta, they're pushing everybody toward using their AI to create ads. Our graphic designers used to do that. But right now you can still submit your own ads, but Meta's making it more and more difficult. They want you to use their system, their AI, even to create the graphics. So there is a lot that's unknown. And I feel like the biggest part of it is keep the human connection the focal point and be flexible.
Educate yourself on AI. That's the other part that you're saying, that I want to make sure people knew. Just know it. You didn't know the internet when you started your business. You probably know the internet. You could probably do a website. You could do, and you don't have to have 100% knowledge. Just know enough to do the right prompts and get the right information so it's correct and it's not crap. Adrienne, you've blessed our audience. I thank you so much. I'm going to bless you right now, and I'm going to bless you, audience. I want the first 3 people who reach out to Adrienne, we're going to get her contact info here in a minute. If you reach out and mention this podcast, she's going to get your contact info. I'm going to send you a free book, a success book I've been reading that's changed my life and made me more money this year I have in 50 years, whatever year, 60, yeah, whatever that is. It's a great book. You're going to love it. So make sure you mention that, and we'll take care of you. How can people reach out to you?
Yeah, great question. So our website, there's a lot of great information there on our website at beaconmm.com for media and marketing. You can find me on LinkedIn, at Adrienne Wilkerson. You can also find Beacon on LinkedIn at BeaconMM. We're on most of the social media platforms. We have the Beacon Way podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of the fun places. But anybody who wants to just geek out on marketing, please DM me on LinkedIn. I'm love to share my mistakes and my lessons that I've learned from them, and hope that somebody else can learn and not make the same mistakes I did.
And we'll put our YouTube channel there as well. You can have access to that. Subscribe there, and subscribe to YouTube channels, mine, hers, because these are gifts. If you know somebody needs help marketing, send this link out to this podcast. Have them share it. You've made an impact with somebody. How much? You don't care. Don't scoreboard impact and service. Just do it, as Nike would say. Nike, if you want to sponsor, I'm here as a fun. Half kidding. I forgot to end with this fun question. You knew the other dinner question. I'm going to ask you kind of a similar question, but it's going to be about a Learjet. So I've reserved a Learjet. Me and you're going to fly in style. There's going to be the co-pilot. There's 3 seats. So you have 4 seats. You have 3 empty seats. Who are you going to invite to fly with you, whether dead or alive, who've been influential in your life? And more importantly, as the co-pilot, where are we flying to?
Ooh, where are we flying to? Well, I love to travel. Where have I not been that I want to be? Machu Picchu is one of the top ones on my list that I really, really want to visit. For sure, that's a very feels like a very spiritual, very powerful place. So that's where I'd love to go. As far as people who've been very influential in my life, Winston Churchill is one of my favorites. His tenacity in the face of overwhelming odds. Definitely a grumpy, prickly person who made such an amazing impact on history and on people. And very fun, quirky person, but just the tenacity that he led with has always inspired me. And actually, both British. Margaret Thatcher, another one that, oh man, just leading with power and yet not losing her femininity. And that is, I think, a really rare, beautiful thing in today's world. As far as a modern one, I would have to bring my parents. I know they're 2, sorry, but
we'll have 5th chair. I'll bring a 5th chair.
Okay, there we go. They have been so influential in my life, both my dad from leadership, from just understanding people, and my mom from that empathy place, and just keeping my dad and I grounded in all the things that we want to do and our crazy dreams and our crazy, like, we're going to push through and make it happen. And she's like, that's great. And you need to bring all the people with you. And how are you doing that? So my parents balance each other out beautifully, and they've both taught me so much. And I am the leader I am today because of both of them.
Well, Machu Picchu, I can never say that. Say that again.
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. Somebody in my networking group, I do a little small networking group every other week. She's actually she's a travel agent. She went out there last year. You're right. It's very spiritual. So now I'm excited. We got a great trip.
Yeah.
And Adrienne, thanks again for being an incredible guest. An audience, me and Adrienne want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all definitely in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have an awesome day, everybody. Talk to you soon.